Now, for all its absolute awesomeness, Fusion 360 has this little problem which I alluded to at the end of the last video, and you've probably seen a couple of times looking at some of the videos I've been making for this, that sometimes this view cube up here freezes. All right, I haven't really been able to figure out exactly what you need to do if for some reason you want to change views and you just can't because like when you click on it, nothing happens. That's a bug in the program, I believe. I haven't been able to find out any information about it or anything, and I have contacted Autodesk, and they said they're going to look into it for me, but man, it gets a little annoying. So I've found that closing the file and reopening it again is probably about the only thing that I can figure out that's going to get that view cube back. And you might even have to go so far as to close the program and reopen it again. Okay, so if that should happen to you, let me know and we'll try and work through it. So the last thing we did before we were interrupted by the view cube is we made a really long rectangle, and that's right here, and it's longer than my knife blade. It is slightly taller than the knife blade, all right, or the knife blade, the knife handle, and it's exactly midpoint to midpoint distance on my handles. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go to the Move menu now, and we're going to select our rectangle, and we're going to move it down until it overlaps completely with the view cube, or the knife handles, like this. I might make this 51.5 just to get it exact, so I have a little bit of overlap here, and a little bit of overlap here. All right, I'm going to press return, and that's perfect. Now you're wondering, what the heck am I doing? Well, the next step is we're going to go to Modify and Combine, and we're going to go to Cut, and I'm going to keep my tool, and my target body is going to be this knife handle, and my tool is going to be the rectangle. And I'm going to keep my tool because I want it for this side, so that box has to be checked. I'm going to click OK. All right, so my next step is to repeat that operation, but this time cut out this half. So here we're going to go to Modify and Combine, and we're going to have this as our target body. We're going to have the rectangle as our tool, and instead of keeping the tool, we're going to get rid of it because we don't need the rectangle anywhere. And I'm done. So I'm going to turn off my sketches now. I'm going to turn off my origin, and I'm going to turn off my canvases. And all we're going to have left are my two knife handles, okay, or two halves of the knife handles, okay? Isn't that absolutely incredibly amazing? All right, just using a few simple commands in Fusion 360, we've managed to design some plastic knife handles here that go with, a custom blade of some kind or another. Okay, so you can kind of get the idea that if you see a picture on the internet of something cool, you can definitely create these objects without any big deal. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do here is go to 3D print now. And so we go up to File and 3D print, and we want to make sure that this box is not checked. And so I'm going to select my top knife blade, and you'll see here that this little tiny thing is made up of all of these different triangles and stuff. This is actually quite a complicated shape to print out. All right, so for this, it's going to be 42,380 triangles. I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to call this, K handle 1 for a knife handle, like so. And now I'm going to go to File and 3D print, and we're going to click on this half down here. And it's equally complicated. We're going to go to OK. And we're going to do the same thing, except now I'm going to call that K-handle 2. And we're going to press Save. All right. So now we can, now we can save the full file, like so. I can get out of Fusion 360 temporarily, and we can take a look at our two knife handle files right here. Okay, so the first one we're going to open up, so that's Control Open With and Preview. I believe you should just be able to double click on your files, but once again, I have Xcode on my computer, which complicates things. I'm going to go to Open With Preview, and if we take a look at this, those are our two pieces of our knife handle. Okay, and that is how you create a nice, simple, rounded, curvy-shaped 3D object. Okay, and I got to tell you that this has got to be one of the absolute coolest things that you could possibly do. Okay, that is amazing. Like, we are maybe a step or two away from essentially doing commercial design at this point. This is so cool. All right. So couple of other ideas. You could probably put a logo or some text in here or something, press it in if you wanted to. Of course, to do that, you'd need to go back into your Fusion files. You don't do it in the STLs. But that's pretty much it. And I would also recommend that, if you find that you print it out and it doesn't have that quite the right grip and feel to it, one of the things you can do is maybe add some more faces and maybe not. If we add some more faces, then these edges won't be so extreme. They'll be a little bit smoother out. You can custom them to the shape of your hand or something. Probably take a bit of experimenting, but it's nothing that you guys aren't up to. And there's no reason why you have to choose knife handles. For goodness sake, you could find almost any object you wanted to. So I'm going to go online and see if I can't find a slightly more complicated example for us to do in multiple profiles, and see whether or not that can't get us some design work done. Anyways, so I think we're finished here, and I'll meet you in the next project group of videos.